Hi everyone and welcome back. It's such a gorgeous day that I figured I'd take our practice outdoors. So you may hear a little bit of wind, some traffic, just external noises, but we're going to embrace it. I recommend or encourage you to take your mat outside if you can, if you have a yard available, if you're not quarantined, because it's really great to just be able to connect again with nature now that winter seems to be finally over. So our practice today, we're going to be opening up into the upper body. We're going to be doing a lot into the arms, into the shoulders, a lot of lifting of the heart, so that automatically means we're going to be doing some back bends. So it's just really important to keep in mind that anytime we find ourselves coming into this position where we're lifting, coming back, we're in a back bend, so we need to engage the glutes here to keep the low back muscles safe. So anytime you feel yourself starting to come back, just make sure that we're engaging in the lower body so we don't strain those sensitive low back muscles. Just notice I have 2 blocks available at the top of the mat. I do recommend that you have 2. If you don't, that's okay. You can come down and modify the posture a little bit. And we're going to be making use of a yoga strap, so grab your strap, a belt, a rope, whatever it is that you're going to be using. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I have no essential oils out here today. Instead, we're enjoying some nice fragrance of Nag Champa, doing it old school. All right, let's get started. So we'll begin in a seated position, and whatever that's going to look like for you. I recommend sometimes that we sit up on a block, but I'm really enjoying being firmly rooted on the ground today, so I'm just going to sit right down flat on my mat. But if you'd like to be up on a block to get the hips a little higher so the legs can relax, feel free to sit up on the block. We'll shift the weight around a few times here, just circling up and around through the hips. Maybe do a couple of little sort of shoulder rolls from side to side, just to bring a little bit of mobility into the upper spine, and then beginning to roll them back and softening them down. Relax the belly, slightly tuck the chin toward the chest, and we'll find stillness. You can allow the eyes to soften or close. And before we really start to tune in with our body and tune in with the breath, I'd like you to just tune in with your environment, whether you're outside or in the house, wherever you may be. Observe what you smell, what you hear, how the air feels, how it feels to be in this space. Whether you have the sunshine warming your back, or a gentle breeze reaching you from an open window. Whether it be the sounds of birds, or your own household. Connect with what surrounds you. Allow yourself to embody this space, knowing that we are all part of the same whole. The sounds, the objects, and the air that surrounds us, we are all part of the same thing, the same energy, the same connection. Perhaps we begin to feel that energetic vibration, the life force of prana within the body, connecting to the space around us. Begin to notice how the breath feels, the natural rhythm coming in and out of the body. Observe whether you feel tight anywhere, And whether that tightness is from clenching, maybe you're clenching into the legs or hips, begin to soften. Maybe you're feeling tight in the shoulders, relax them down. And then we'll slowly begin to expand and build upon the breath. The inhale's deepening, and the exhale's extending. Gradually connecting with that deep breath pattern. And feel how this simple action of breathing deepens your connection to what surrounds you. Falling into a rhythm. And we'll continue with this breath for 5 more rounds. Slowly find that natural pace again. Soften into the body. We'll begin some slow movement. You can keep the eyes soft or closed. We'll slowly roll out the shoulders. Inhale, drawing them up to the ears. Exhale, releasing them down the back. Bottom of the exhale, reverse the direction. And at the bottom of this exhale, we'll begin to alternate. So one shoulder at a time. Still moving nice and slow, moving fluidly with the breath. And reversing. And then slowly finding stillness in center. Take your left hand to the mat. Right hand out to the side. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, bend into that left elbow and extend to the side, allowing that right side body to grow nice and long. Feel the rib cage expanding. And taking care not to sink into that left shoulder, but really pressing away from the mat. If it feels okay for the neck, look up toward the right elbow and maybe deepen the bend in the left elbow just a little bit. Inhale, both hands reach up, look up, and we'll bring the right hand down and extend the left to the side. Again, we're pressing away from the mat with the right hand. Big extension up through the side body. And maybe we turn to look up. Next inhale, reaching up with both hands, look up. Exhale, hands coming into the heart. And then releasing them down. So go ahead and grab both your blocks. And again, if you didn't have 2 blocks available to you, I've also done this with my sneakers. We're just gonna have a block in each hand. Ideally, they would weigh about the same, because you're gonna see as we start to move here that it'll really help them to be even. So that's why I've used a pair of shoes, because they're generally about the same weight. This block's a little bit heavier, so I'm gonna be using it in my less dominant left hand. So we're gonna take a block in each hand. Arms are gonna extend out to the side, soften the shoulders down, and our palms our palms are gonna be facing forward behind the blocks here. We're just gonna start some slow circles, little circles, circling the blocks around. Just starting in one direction. We're going to be building some heat. You're really going to start to feel into the shoulders, so really be mindful of breathing. Reverse the direction. So I'm directing this energy, this movement with my hands and the blocks right now, but now I'm going to start to bring it up into the shoulders. So rolling the shoulders around, starting to widen out the circles. Reverse the direction again. Breathing through it. And then stillness, bring the blocks down, take a breath in and out. Arms lift, this time palms to face the floor, and starting those little circles. The movement is coming from the blocks and the hands. So the shoulders are relaxing down. Reverse the direction. Probably really starting to feel some heat building now. Start to add in the shoulders. You don't have to go too fast here. And reverse. Stillness, release, breathe in and out. Blocks up, this time palms to face the ceiling or the sky, and beginning our circles. Little circles to start. Reverse. Shoulders. Reverse. Stillness and release. Breathe in 2 times. This last variation is a little bit more difficult. So if you'd like to leave the blocks or whatever you're using down on the mat, that's perfectly fine. For those of you that want the extra challenge, blocks up, palms to face behind. So we're inwardly rotating the shoulders. Little circles to start. Reverse. Shoulders. Reverse. You can see I'm getting fatigued. Lots of heat in the shoulders right now. One more round. Stillness. Release the blocks all the way down, hands to the lap. Breathe 3 breaths. We still might be feeling a little bit of tension and tightness up here because we really built up that energy into the shoulders and the upper body. So we're going to stretch it out now before we move on to the legs. You can place the blocks toward the top of the mat and go ahead and find your strap. So we're going to be coming into cow face arms. If you prefer not to use a strap, by all means, if that's within your practice, to reach for the hands, feel free to do so. For those of you that want to use the strap, we'll start with it in the left hand. Remember, I'm mirroring you guys. One long end behind the back, behind the shoulder. Right hand will come out to the side, flip the palm to face the back. As we hinge at the elbow, we'll find the strap in both hands and then slowly start to walk the hands together. They do not have to meet. We want to try to keep this left elbow and starting to point toward the sky and tucking in the inner arm as close as we can to the ear. It's okay if it's not perfect. just taking little subtle adjustments to start bringing it closer is good enough for today. And we're just holding here. So we're not slouching forward. A lot of people tend to hang the head in this position. Tall through the spine, belly slightly engaged, and breathing. As we begin to open up space in the shoulders and arms, you may find the fingers come closer together. You may be able to link the fingers. But again, still trying to make those subtle adjustments, tucking that left arm close to the head. We are going to be incorporating a little bit of a fold, and this works if you're in a cross-legged position like I am now or up on the knees. On your next inhale, really lengthen up through the spine. We're going to keep the belly slightly engaged, and we're going to be leading with the heart. As we exhale, we're going to begin folding forward. You might not go too far because we don't want to round the spine down. We want to stay long and extended. Chin is lifted from the chest. Again, we're leading forward with the heart. Notice if your arms start to come out to the side, tuck it back up close to the head. Tucking the belly way up and in for support as we inhale, bring your torso back through center. Couple more breaths here. Breathe in. Exhale, release the hands. Slowly bring the arms down. And just let all of that sensation wash down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Taking the strap in the right hand this time. Long end comes behind. Reaching our hand up in the air. Left hand to the side. We flip the palm to face the back of the room. And then hinging at the elbow, find the strap behind you. And then starting to walk the hands closer together. As we do so, that right arm is tucking close to the head, elbow beginning to point toward the sky. And then find whatever spots where you can start to feel a stretch. We don't want to feel strain through the shoulder. We just want a nice gentle stretch up through the back of the arm and into the top of the shoulder blade here. The spine is extended but neutral. We're not slouching or sticking out our chest. Chin is lifted. Find your breath. Incorporating the fold, inhale for length. Exhale, leading with the heart. Begin to fold forward. Don't let the head drop. Arm is still tucking close to the head. Remember, we don't have to go down too far. Belly is supporting you from underneath. And as we get ready to come up, inhale. Breathe out. A couple more breaths here. Breathe in and exhale to release. Release the arms. Take a few breaths. Allow that all to wash right down. We can take the strap off to the side for now. And we're going to extend the legs out in front. Move any flesh of the bottom out of the way so you can feel the pelvis tilting forward. We'll flex the feet, shake the legs out a couple times, wiggle them around. And then finding stillness. Soft bend to the knees. We're not doing too much into the hamstrings today, so we do want to warm them up a little bit here. Nice tall spine as we inhale, reaching the arms forward and up to frame the ears. Exhale, extend yourself long forward. Again, leading with the heart, nose to toes. And then allow yourself to gradually soften down, really releasing through the spine as we hang the head over the legs. Hands can rest to the mat, framing the legs. Maybe they reach for the ankles or the feet if that's within your practice. As we start to fold here, think about the sensation and stretch we're feeling across the low back. And then we'll begin to deepen that stretch into the legs. We can start to lift and lower the backs of the knees up and down on the mat. So we're pedaling the backs of the knees up and down, starting to deepen the stretch through the hamstrings. We want to keep the fold here, but try to keep the chin lifted from the chest. That'll create more room and space for the breath within the throat. Still think about extension from the crown of the head, reaching toward the toes. And then we can begin to bring a little bit of play into the flex of the feet. So you can still have a soft bend to the knees. Maybe the legs are just a little bit straighter than before, but we start to deepen the flex of the foot. So we're feeling the calf turn on, starting to feel sensation within the ankles. And breathing this whole time. We're just starting to create and open up some space. We're going to frame our legs with our hands, fingertips to the mat, look at the toes, so looking forward, walk the fingertips forward, feeling length through the spine, through the arms, belly is strong as we inhale, lifting all the way up, look up to the hands, exhale, hands coming into the heart, and release. Setting up for a twist, right foot pulls in. We can keep it to the inside or outside of that left knee. Left foot stays flexed. Inhale for a tall spine. We're going to be twisting to the right as we exhale, starting the twist at the waist, hugging the knee into the chest with the left hand, and the right hand comes behind. Beginning to deepen the twist, working our way up the spine, head and neck turning last. Use the exhales for the movement and the inhales to grow tall. One more breath in, and exhale, untwist, coming back through center. Stretch out that right leg. Left foot comes in, inside or outside of the knee. Inhale. Exhale to twist, starting at the waist, twisting to the left. One more breath in, and exhale to center. Both legs stretch out, wiggle them out. One more fold, arms out to the side, this time inhale, reaching up. Exhale, extend, fold, soften down. Palms to the mat, framing the legs, keeping the upper body hanging as we inhale. Drag the hands toward the hips, rounding the spine upward. Shoulders come to the ears. And exhale, slide them down the back. We'll be making our way into a tabletop position. As we come onto hands and knees, I'd like you to take your blocks once again back on the mat on their lowest setting. We'll be using them to come down into a variation of extended puppy. First, we'll come into table to stretch out the wrists. So spreading wide through the fingertips and just circling around. Going a few times in both directions. And then we'll come to the top of the right hand, reverse all that stretching, just gently circling around here. And we'll give that right hand a good shake before we move to the top of the left. And the left hand gets a nice good shake. Coming back into table, 5 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, rounding strong through the belly. Last round, inhaling. And exhale. Coming back through table. And we're going to have the blocks available here. We're going to be bringing our elbows and part of the forearm down. So the elbow will be in about the center of the block. And the width between the blocks, we want to be able to keep our elbows underneath our shoulders. So if you were to just take your hands elbow to elbow here, that's how we know there's a good width. Bringing the arms forward. And then we're going to step our knees back a little bit here to create some space. Hands can stay in prayer, meeting together in front of the blocks. So I've created space between my elbows and my knees. I'm going to take a breath in and then exhale. I'm going to start to press my weight back a little bit, dipping my chest down to the mat, releasing my head between the arms. Trying to keep the weight equal between the legs. Your head or chest does not have to reach the mat. We're just opening up the shoulders. We can deepen this a little bit here. Hands are still together in prayer. Perhaps we start to bend into the elbows, bringing the hands overhead. Notice how that sensation changes within the back, within the shoulders. Maybe softening the heart closer to the mat. And if we want to deepen a little bit more, maybe bending the elbows so the thumbs come to rest on the back of the neck. Two more big breaths wherever you're at. Slowly straightening the arms. Press the elbows into the blocks to start lifting up and walk the knees forward. We'll sink back to child's pose. Bum to the heels, arms alongside the body as we bring the forehead down. You can have the knees wide or together underneath. Just soften here. Slowly extend the hands forward and push yourself up back to table. Blocks can be placed to the top of the mat. Walk the hands a step or two in front. Tuck your toes. Take a breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Head releasing between the arms. Go ahead and pedal out the feet. Belly pressing toward the thighs. Press the mat away with the palms of the hands. On an inhale, come high on the toes, rounding through the spine just like we do for cats as we shift our weight forward to a high plank. Heels pressing back, shoulders over the wrists. We can always round the knees. Take a breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to lower all the way down to the belly. So either bringing your knees down first or coming through chaturanga. Elbows tight, all the way down. Extend the tops of the feet back. And then walk the hip bones back just a couple of inches, or a little bit of space. There's a little bit of extra room we can create in the low spine. Hands are framing the chest underneath the shoulders. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, slide them down the back, and squeeze the elbows in toward the rib cage. Coming up to baby cobra, we'll keep our gaze straight down to the mat. Inhale, press into the hands, hovering the heart, elbows reaching, squeezing in, shoulders reaching back. We're pressing the hip bones down, pressing the tops of the toes into the mat, and quads are engaged. Find your breath. Inhale. A lot of control as we exhale and allow the chest to settle back down. Soften. We'll come up to an extended cobra where we start to straighten the arms and look forward. Inhale, lifting the heart, coming in through baby cobra first, hip bones pressing down, toes pressing down, legs strong. Starting to straighten the arms, puffing the chest forward, elbows still squeezing in. Look forward if it's okay. Breathing. Glutes are slightly engaged. Inhale. Exhale with control, lower back down. As you come down, bring the arms out to the side and look to the left. You can rest your head on the mat and slowly drag that left hand in underneath the left shoulder. And we're going to use that left hand pressing into the mat to roll onto our right side body. The right arm is still extended out to the side. If it's okay, stack the legs here. And you can bring your left hand closer to the chest. So we're opening up into that right shoulder. Head is relaxed. We can incorporate a little bit of a lower spinal twist here by lifting that left leg, bending the knee, and planting the foot just behind the bum. So starting to open up through the pelvis and the low spine. Slowly restack the legs. Extend that left arm out to the side as we roll back onto the belly. Rest the head. Take a breath. And then we'll move to the right side. I'm just going to flip around so you can still hear me. Arms are extended. We're looking to the right hand now. Right hand drags in under the right shoulder. And we'll press it into the mat as we roll onto the left side body. And if you can't comfortably stack the legs, we can take the right foot in front of the left and you can just hang out here. Left arm is still extending behind. And if we want to incorporate that twist into the low body, picking up the right foot, bending the knee, and taking the foot just behind the bum or the left thigh. Pointing the knee toward the sky and breathing. Slowly restack the legs. Roll onto the belly and extend that right arm. Take a breath. Both hands coming under the shoulders. We can look forward, tuck the toes. Inhale, press up to table. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in down dog. Looking back at the feet, move the left foot to the center of the mat. On an inhale, right leg will lift up behind us. Exhale, bend the knee, slowly shift your weight forward. Foot comes between the hands. Ground that left knee for the low lunge. We have our blocks available to us if we need them. active into the legs. So strong legs squeezing together and in toward the center. On an inhale, arms will reach forward and up to frame the ears. As we lift the torso, hip bones press forward, tailbone is long, and then relax the shoulders. Breathe in, puff the chest up, slightly start to lean back. Little back bend here, arms peeling back by the ears. Inhale, reach straight up. Exhale, we're going to bring the hands down and behind, linking fingertips or grabbing wrists or opposite elbows. Roll the shoulders up and back and extend the hands or arms back. Just like we did with the arms extended, tailbone is long, puff the chest forward and slightly lean back. Glutes are supporting us. Legs are strong, we're breathing. Breathe in, reach up. Exhale, release the hands, bringing them forward. Tuck the left toes. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot moving to the center of the mat. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, bend the knee, coming forward, left foot between the hands, right knee grounds, low lunge. Find your support in the legs here. Take a moment before we come up. Everything squeezing into the center as the arms come forward and up with the inhale. Hip bones press forward, tailbone long. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, arms peel back. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, arms down and back. Grabbing opposite wrists, elbows, or fingers this time. Shoulders down and back. Lift the arms from the back. Just like we did before, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, reach the arms back. Breathe in, extend, and exhale to release. Right toes tuck. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale, step forward this time to the top of the mat. Right foot to meet the left and fold down over the feet. Release yourself. Perhaps we grab opposite elbows, sway from side to side. And finding stillness, release the arms. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, folding down. Bend into the knees, rolling up to stand. Big inhales, we round up. Upper body hanging, belly engaged as we lengthen up the spine. Arms lift all the way up, look up. And exhale, hands into the heart. 3 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more. And release. Shake it all out. Go ahead, shake out the legs, shake out the arms. And then I'd like you to grab your strap again. We're going to be holding it in a few variations of Warrior One. So we want to make sure the strap is about shoulders distance here. So again, as we bring hands to elbows, we want it the length between the hands of the strap to be about the length of our forearm. So just take a moment to kind of figure that out. Maybe you have to fold your strap over just so that the extra isn't flopping around everywhere. We're going to come back to the top of the mat, one side of the strap in both hands. Shoulders down and back. Find mountain here, even though the hands are slightly in front. So we're engaging into the legs, spine is tall. Connect with your breath. On an inhale, arms reaching forward and up. Feel the outer arms turn on as we slightly pull the strap. Hands pulling away from each other. Arms are overhead. Relax the shoulders and slowly shift your weight into the right foot. So soft bend to the both knees here. We're going to start to lift the left foot, drawing the left knee up in toward the chest. Feel that low belly tucking in. We're going to step back through a warrior 3 to a warrior 1. Or you can just step back from here if you don't want to hover. On an inhale, slowly shift your weight. Arms coming forward. We can always bring them into the chest if extended is too much. Left leg slowly reaching back. This is optional. You can always bring the left toes down. Hover for a moment. And then left toes down, heel grounds. As we lift the torso, arms are still extended. Take a moment, make sure that right knee is not going past the ankle. Squaring off the hips. Left hip pulls forward, right hip back. Left toes are turning in. Not all the way straight, but a little bit straighter. Turning than we would in Warrior 2. Lengthen the tailbone. Reach the arms up, puff the chest up on an inhale. Exhale, arms peeling back. Pull the strap back as though someone has hold of the center of the strap and is pulling it back. Try to keep your shoulders locked into place here, so we're not extending the shoulders up. We're reaching and activating through the hands and through the arms. Inhale, lift straight up. Exhale, bend the elbows, bring the strap in front of you. We're going to take the strap behind us now. So still trying to keep that same amount of length between the hands. Shoulders roll down and back. Slightly shift your weight forward. Make sure the knee is not going past the ankle. And then press into that back left foot. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, reach the hands back. We don't have to make this a huge movement because you're really going to start to feel it. Make sure your tailbone, your hip bones are pressing forward. We're lifting through the heart. Inhale, and then exhale, release the strap, bringing it forward. Inhale, arms reach up, come high on those left toes. And exhale, step forward to mountain. Breathe in. Exhale, bring the hands down. You can release one side of the strap, shake out the arms, shake out the legs before we move into the opposite side. Strap is in front, mountain, find your breath. Inhale, arms forward and up. Find that extension, slightly pulling the hands apart. We're not lifting the shoulders way up, but plugging them down and back. Slowly shift your weight into the left foot, soft bend to the knees, and we'll begin to find our balance, lifting the right foot as the knee tucks into the chest, low belly tucking in. You can either step back to Warrior 1 from here, or through Warrior 3. Inhale, right foot begins to extend back as our weight shifts forward. Arms can be extended, or we can bend the elbows, bringing the hands closer to the chest. Slowly dip those right toes down, ground the heel. Torso, arms come up. Make sure that left knee is not going past the ankle and square off your hips. Hip bones pressing forward. Spine is long, but shoulders are still locked in. We're not extending upwards through the shoulders. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, peel it back. Remember, as though someone has hold of the center of the strap, shoulders are still locked into place. Heart is lifting up. We're squeezing the glutes slightly to keep that low back safe. Inhale, reach straight up. Exhale, bring the hands down.
Release the strap, take it behind, find it in that opposite hand. Shoulders roll down and back. Slowly shift your weight forward, making sure the knee does not go past the ankle, and then press into that back right foot. Spine, low spine is long, glutes strong. Inhale, lift the chest, pulling the arms back. Again, this is not a huge movement. It's very subtle. As we start to lift the arms, you're going to really start to feel the shoulders turn on. Hips are still squaring off. Make those little adjustments. Heart is lifting. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release the hands. Go ahead and get rid of the strap. Inhale, reach the arms up. Come high on those right toes. Exhale, step forward to mountain. Hands meet overhead. Breathe in. Exhale, hands to the heart. 3 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And release. We're going to be coming down to wind down through camel and then all the way down for Shavasana. So meeting again at the top of the mat. On an inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward, flat back, folding, bending into the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Plant the hands, step both feet back and ground the knees to table. We're going to be taking both of our blocks here. So coming to stand on the knees. If your knees are very uncomfortable, you can always fold the mat over. An extra time, give you a little extra cushion. So we're going to come up to stand on the knees. We're going to have one block, or whatever it is that you're using on the outer ankle, on each side. Knees are hip distance underneath, and that doesn't mean outer hips. That means the sit bones right underneath, so a little bit closer than you might think. We're going to start with hands to the hips. Hip bones pressing forward. Shoulders come up to the ears, down the back. Squeeze the elbows in. Tailbone is very long. Slightly squeeze the glutes. Inhale, lift the heart toward the sky. Hip bones pressing forward. And maybe we stay right here. Maybe we squeeze the elbows a little more lift from the heart. Maybe the hands are comfortable to come down onto the blocks. Lean the shoulders back, hip bones press forward, squeeze the glutes. Maybe we even tuck the toes, lifting the heels. Hands can rest on the heels if that feels okay. Shoulders coming back, heart lifted, hips forward. Maybe we are able to flatten the tops of the feet. Again, shoulders back, heart up, hips forward, breathing. Don't let the head drop back. As we coming out slowly, bringing the hands to the hips, squeeze the glutes. Inhale, reach the heart to the sky. Exhale, right into child's pose. Arms forward, sink back to the heels, and release. Widen out the legs, and really melt the heart down. Breathe into the low back. Release all tension. One more full breath in and release. Slowly use the hands to walk the torso up. And we're going to make our way into our half boat position to start winding down. You're coming to sit in the center of the mat. Knees bent, tall spine, arms out to the side. Breathe in. Exhale, belly pulling way in as we wind and round all the way down. Using control, use the breath. Releasing the spine. Relax gently through the shoulders, the neck, the head, and then the arms and the legs. Big breath into the belly. Let it out with a sigh. So anytime we do a lot of work into the lower back muscles, like when we're doing these back bends or some of these upper body openers that inadvertently begin to stretch and maybe tense up the low back, we want to end with a good twist. So exhale, float the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the legs, and then ground those hip bones down, ground the shoulders down, and just feel the length of the spine pressing into the mat. Especially feeling a broadening across the muscles of the low back. And begin to circle the legs out, keeping them together, just giving the tailbone, the sacral area, a nice massage. Just starting to break up any residual tension that might be hanging out. And rocking a bit from side to side. We'll continue to circle out the legs, but this time drawing them wide apart. So opening the legs and then bringing the knees back together in center, circling around. And again, just giving those muscles a nice stretch. As the knees come back into the chest, we can find a happy baby, grabbing the outer edges of the ankles, calves, or feet. Ankles stack over the knees and the thighs open wide around the ribs. As we open the thighs here, you're going to feel that low back stretching out again. And we can rock a bit from side to side here as well. Finding stillness, knees come into the chest, we can plant the feet. And then we're going to extend the right leg on the mat and scoot the bum to the right just a little bit. Arms can release off to the side. Left foot will come to the top of the right knee. I'm sorry, I did that backwards. So we want to scoot our bum to the left, right leg extends, left foot to the right knee. Take a breath in here. As we exhale, we'll come into the twist. Left knee relaxes off to the right side. It does not have to reach the ground because we want that left shoulder to stay grounded. And today I invite you to take that right hand and gently rest it on the outer left thigh. We're not pulling or yanking the leg down. We're just giving a little extra weight and support. And then release, let go of the left hip. Maybe we look to the left, really grounding that left shoulder down. And just let go into the twist here. Breathing. And then we're going to incorporate a very subtle action of just lengthening this left hip, the top of the hip, down toward the bottom of the mat. We can use this right hand here as just a gentle guide. It's a very subtle movement. What we're doing is creating space between the low ribs and the top of the hip. Inhale, moving back through center. This time, scoot your bum to the right side and extend the left leg. Right foot to the left knee. Take a breath in. Exhale for the twist. Right knee coming over to the left. Right shoulder stays rooted down. Relax, release through the hips and the legs. Left hand could just very gently rest on that right thigh. Maybe we look to the right hand. And then that subtle action of just lengthening the right hip bone down toward the bottom of the mat, creating the space between the ribs and the hip. Using the hand as a guide, gentle little movement here.
Inhale, moving through center. As we come through center, even out the hips. And then you can take a moment, any little last minute stretches, adjustments, or movements that you'd like to take before Shavasana, feel free to do that now. And we'll settle into it nice and slow here. I'm going to pick up my hips just a little bit and lengthen them down toward the bottom of the mat, and then extending my legs. And the sun is nice and bright and warm right now, so I'm going to really take up some space and allow the energy to take up some space as well. Arms releasing to the side, palms to face the sky, shoulder blades tucking underneath, and all of the weight is releasing from the body. The spine begins relaxing down, and the eyes can soften or close. And tuning back in with the breath, finding that natural rhythm. Once again, I invite you to connect with your surroundings. Whether you're outdoors and feel the breeze or the sun, or you're inside, you can hear the household noises, maybe smell food in the kitchen. Whatever that space feels, sounds, smells, or looks like for you, really allow yourself to embody it. We'll slowly begin deepening and controlling the breath, just like we began our practice with. Expanding as we inhale through the front of the body, and then using a long controlled release to let the breath go. We'll take 5 more rounds of breath this way. And after your 5th long, controlled exhale, I invite you to release your control of the breath altogether. I invite you to challenge yourself how much you can release, soften, and find stillness within this most important posture of our practice. Energetically connect with what surrounds you, allowing the breath, the body, and your thoughts all to become part of the same rhythm, that prana, that life force that flows all around us. And just surrender. Gently allow the breath to deepen again, inviting awareness back to the body. Wiggle out the toes and the fingers. Rock the head gently from side to side. On an inhale, reach and extend your arms up overhead. Lengthen out the whole body. And exhale, releasing. One last time, we'll float the knees into the chest, wrapping the arms around the legs. Give yourself a big squeeze. And find those words of gratitude and kindness just for yourself. Finding your own internal connection. Cherishing it. Welcoming it. Whenever you're ready, rolling to one side and using an inhale to make your way to your most comfortable seated position. We'll bring the hands to the heart. And if you care to join me in ending practice with a round of Om, we'll start by taking a deep breath in. Exhale all the stale air. One more inhale for Om. Thank you so much for joining in with me on this very beautiful day. I hope I find you all well and healthy, and I look forward to next time. Namaste.